This lovely sizzling dish is satay, a popular street food delicacy in Southeast Asia. But this specific dish is a little different. It looks and tastes like the real thing, except no meat was used in its making. Everything you see here has been derived from plant-based products. This is the protein of the future and a key ingredient for sustainable food systems.
We know that it's going to be something that moving forward we have to create something more sustainable. With increasing of population, also increase in the global consumption of meat. So based on one of the reports that have said that there's at least 78% increase of the meat consumption and seafood consumption by 2050. So this increase of 78% is, in fact, is quite a lot, and we have to think of a way that we can also to meet the meat consumption.
Sustainability concerns, climate fears, and changing consumer preferences. They're all fueling a shift from animal consumption towards plant-based alternatives, and Asia is no exception. Countries like Singapore are catching on to this food revolution, spurred on by an influx of startups and entrepreneurs, as well as investments by companies like Big Idea Ventures. But while the island state is emerging as a mecca for research and development in the plant-based space, gaps in the ecosystem remain.
We have seen a lot of accelerators, we see a lot of startups. So far, one missing piece of the puzzle is actually to have a place where the ideas can be tested on a scale-up. And it's always this gap in between. You don't want to invest a lot of money into a processing plant before you have proven that it really works.
Recognizing the need for scalability, two Swiss companies have come together to cook up a solution. Food industry giants Buhler and Givaudan are collaborating to build an innovation center for plant-based food in Singapore. The facility aims to create sustainable food solutions for a growing Asian market and hand innovators a leg up in the business.
These two companies coming together gives a company wanting to develop a product the full access to everything they need to take a product from a concept through to a fully scalable plant-based food in one lab, under one roof.
Givaudan and Buhler, both in their field, actually have a market leader position, but both also realize being in the food industry, being in such a position, that comes with a responsibility to ensure that the food of tomorrow is safe, is tasty, is healthy.
This is where it's all going to happen. It's currently an empty space, but in a few months' time, this area will be transformed into the Innovation Center for Plant-Based Food. The facility is set to open early next year, and when it does, it'll open its doors to the likes of startups, researchers, and companies looking to turn their ideas into reality. Demand for alternative and plant-based meat products is on the rise, driven in large part by concerns over food security and volatility. Singapore is especially vulnerable, as it relies heavily on foreign food imports. This is why the city-state has been channeling investment into food technology, as it looks to strengthen self-sufficiency through local food production.
So Singapore have this initiative called the 30 by 30. So this is what Singapore has established to be able to be 30% self-sufficient in our nutritional needs. Because in Singapore, we import 90% of products into Singapore. And like, for instance, our meat, our dairy, or our vegetables, we do import from overseas. So we are trying to address this issue by reducing from 90% to 70%, so we need a 30% self-sufficiency.
The collaboration between Buhler and Givaudan fits in perfectly with Singapore's 30 by 30 vision. Product development at the Innovation Center will initially focus on meat alternatives that not only appeal to Asian taste buds, but also resemble food textures and complement cooking techniques used in the region. But with continued advancement in science and technology, the future potential of plant-based food knows no bounds. Colette Wong, Food for the Future in Singapore.